Want to know what a real man would tell their lady about love and life? You're in the right place. This is Hello Ladies with Rom Wills. Rom Wills is a speaker and author of several books on relationships. Grab some wine, sit back, and enjoy.
Hello, ladies. Welcome to my spot. Upgrade your social class. Now, ladies, here's an interesting thing I see. Because you get a lot of ladies talking about, getting a bag and all of that stuff. And, y'all not listening to me. I'm saying, hey, we'll get that guy who's building towards the bag. Y'all don't want to do it. Okay, fine. But I'll give y'all some advice along there. If you want to meet that high post man, you need to be in his same social class. That's your best shot. I'm going to tell you why I say that. Now, a lot of, in this space, a lot of men especially throw out the word hypergamy. A lot of dudes throw that word out, but don't really have an understanding what it really means. Hypergamy means a woman who can move up from one class to a higher class. Like if, say, she's in a poor neighborhood or something, or she's in a underclass. True hypergamy is that woman who can marry that billionaire. That's true hypergamy. So she moves from the underclass to the upper class. That's hypergamy. Only a few women can practice that. For a woman to practice that, she needs to be a minimum, listen to what I'm saying, of 8 in a man's eyes, a minimum. So if a woman is more average looking, and she ain't getting that bag if she's not that real attractive woman. It don't matter about how intelligent you are, how cool you are. Because if for a man to elevate a woman like that, part of it is he's looking for a trophy. Like I said, on this channel, y'all know I'm going to be honest with you. Now, that's not to say you can't get that high post man. That's not to say, but you're going to have to elevate yourself into the same social class as that high post man as best as possible. And even then, I'm just be real with you, it's not guaranteed, but that's your best shot. Because most men aren't as picky about your material stuff. Most men. They ain't as picky about it. They ain't as picky about your education. But most men don't dip down that far. If you get a high post man, he's not going to be inclined to deal with an underclass woman. Definitely not. If you that woman and you could be a good person, but if you in that poor class, he ain't going to mess with you. Or if you in working class and he's an educated professional, he's not going to be as inclined to deal with you if you're more working class. So if you the office secretary or something like that, where most women in the working class are going to be doing some, they call it white collar, but it's more pink collar. You're more in a support position, clerical type of stuff. He's not going to be as inclined to deal with you. Now I know y'all see some stories about men, rich men, marrying their secretaries or dealing with their executive assistants. Remember, minimum 8. So unless you're that, if you give yourself a proper appraisal, shout out C Boogie, and you can honestly say from what people have told you, oh yeah, you're that, boom. But if you're not, you more average looking to most men. If you in the same class, and then if you're in the same class, he's likely to give you a look. Like I share a story with myself, and I recently told some people in private this story. And there's a woman out there. There was a woman. I knew her in the early 90s. Real sweet, very attractive. Actually, with some changes in her personality, she could have practiced hypergamy, but that just wasn't her personality. But she was very attractive, would have made a good wife and everything, but she had a working class mentality. Whereas Rom, I'm thinking global conquest. So it was a big disparity. It's just like, because She just wanted an ordinary life, and I didn't. But it was a class issue there. Now, if she had moved up some and had a little bit more ambition to do stuff, well, do something along the lines of what I'm trying to do, then yeah, probably would have been married to her, or at least a couple kids anyway. But it wasn't there. Other men are thinking the same thing. Like, I'm looking at a lot of women now and talking about they want to get the bag and stuff, but they want that guy of a different class. Remember, social class means a big thing. Social class means a big thing. And men want the attractive woman, but you got to think in terms of just who he's going to relate to. And that some guys ain't thinking that way, but I'm telling you more from a professional man's perspective. I'm telling you how they're thinking. That was my social class. Still is really. I'm just more modest about some things, more modest right now. But when you deal with them, they thinking about those things. They thinking about it. They thinking, oh, she too ghetto. You can be sweet or something, but you too ghetto. Or this is, they ain't the type who want to deal with the weekly barbecues of Uncle Junior and them. In fact, let me give a great example for those who remember the show Insecure. It's too bad it didn't come on this past summer. But remember, me and Master Teacher BGS did a show. We did reviews of it. Now, remember the character Lawrence. A lot of people remember him. There was a big hoo-ha how he was doing. Remember, he was dealing with the character Tasha. Now, Tasha, even though she was feeling him, she was feeling him, and she was trying to upgrade herself, in all fairness. But they still weren't at the same thing. She was more that working class woman trying to move up, right? But she still had those tendencies. Whereas, despite us meeting Lawrence as just some dude sitting on a couch, he was bougie. He was bougie. He had a more upper tier mentality ultimately. Yeah, he went through a bad spot, but then once he got out of it, all of a sudden, boom. And it was really wasn't even him moving up. It was just him just doing what it was natural to him anyway. So, even though, that character Tasha, she loved him. She was fixing him food. She was totally loyal to him. They really weren't on the same page. He just wasn't interested in what she was interested in. I remember there was a scene where they were watching, there was a TV show on. She was really getting into it. And he was just like, That's a real thing. But, say Tasha had moved along, she was a little bit further along than what she wanted to be, because she wanted to be a bank president. That would move her up in class and everything, and probably move her up in general behaviors. Probably would have been more appealing to him. She probably would have been more appealing to him as long as she didn't retain too much of her working class background. And really, ladies, that's the only way to really do it. That's the real only way to do it. Because I know there's a general perception that men will just take whatever, but that's not the truth. As men get up there, we're looking. We're looking at class. We're looking at how intelligent. What can we talk about? Can I talk about politics with this person? Can I get into some deeper philosophical conversations with this person? Are we in the same class? Or, or you just want to spend your time just drinking, playing spades, and hanging out at barbecues with some country ass folk? The answer might not be no. Now, people might say that's bougie and everything, but sometimes those are the type of guys that have it, And also, and that's not just even for them. Say you get a guy, say a woman is lower class, ratchet class, lumpen proletariat. And the guy's blue collar cat who's more steady, more working. He might not want to deal with a lot of stuff. But the key for the woman is you gotta be, if you want that guy, you gotta be in that class with him. Understand that. Once you understand that, it's it becomes a lot easier. Because once you there, one of the things that it makes it easier, you doing the same things he's doing, engaging in the same activities. So you putting yourself in a place to meet that guy. Keep that in mind. So the key, unless you rate at least an 8, upgrade your social class. You want to get that guy? Upgrade your social class. So anyway, that's all I got for today, y'all. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace and blessings.